invite Mr. Marwaha, Senior Director, MeitY, to share a few words, please.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. Dignitaries on the dais, Mr. Anil Agarwal, Additional Secretary, DPIIT, Mr. Kumar Vineet, Special Secretary, Department of IT, Government of Uttar Pradesh, Mr. Sanjay Agarwal, President, Elsina, the past presidents, Elsina, present here, Mr. Amrit Manwani ji, Mr. Vinod Sharma ji, Mr. Pankaj Gulati ji, and our esteemed industrialist, Mr. Atul B. Lal, MD and Vice Chairman Dixon, the captains of the industry present here, and all the participants, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning to you all, and it is indeed, I am delighted to be here at the second Electronic Supply Chain Summit organized by Elsina. I must compliment Elsina at the outset for organizing this conference at a very opportune time on a very important topic, electronics manufacturing in mission mode and creating a credible component ecosystem. So my predecessors have spoken, I'm very impressed by the inputs given by all of you. And we do take it, the crux is that we have brought in schemes, incentives, so the implementation is the key. So we take that message and we'll try our best to live up to your expectations. And basically, electronics manufacturing, it is a thrust area for the Government of India under both Make in India and Digital India programs. And we realize, this industry has taken the onslaught of zero duty imports under the ITA 1, and that has deeply impacted the electronic components industries. Beginning 2005, before that we had a good electronic components manufacturing base, but the existing units could not survive because of the onslaught of zero duty imports. So taking that situation into account, government was seized of the issue. We took a number of steps. A task force was formed under the Principal Secretary to PM in 2006, followed by industry-led task force 2009, and then the first national policy on electronics in 2012, where we put in the flagship modified special incentive package scheme, MSIPs, the EMC scheme, the policy for providing preference to domestically manufactured electronic products, and the phased manufacturing program for mobile phones that served us very well, So that actually Mr. Vinod Sharma talked about the auto components industry. So incidentally, I had the benefit of handling that industry at the start of my career for 3 years, 92, 94. So we handled, the phased manufacturing programs and promoted the entire, Maruti, the component and ancillary ecosystem. So I was, with that experience at the start of my career, I took that name, the phased manufacturing program, and implemented in a different manner. Earlier it was, licensing Raj, you would know the pre-91. So PMP essentially for the auto components, for example, the steering, we would, break it down into sub-assemblies, and we would, urge the industry, okay, in year 1, you have to indigenize this, year 2, indigenize this, year 3. And then, that was, capacities were limited, you can only produce this much, so we will allow this much of bearing, this much of this, year on year, that's how the phased manufacturing program was implemented. But anyways, I took the terminology, and then in consultation with the industry, we were able to put in a robust PMP for mobile manufacturing, where we identified 16 or 14 sub-assemblies, and year on year how to indigenize them. So earlier it was a differential excise structure that we brought into play, but with the GST that was not possible. So Hasmukh Adia ji, Revenue Secretary at that time, said, see, it's not possible to bring in a differential GST structure. The only possibility is impose manufacturer. 23 units have already been approved, and we expect the disbursement to start from the coming financial year. So, as a result of all these policies, our electronics manufacturing grew from $29 billion in 14-15 to about $76 billion in 1920. Then we faced the pandemic, and as a result of which growth was flat for a year. And now this year, again, things are starting to looking up, and I believe that the worst is behind us, and we will move with full fervor going forward. And so another important task, I have noticed from the panel discussions, you are having 3 panel discussions today on very important topics: building the semiconductor ecosystem, then the high growth segments for EMS and equipment manufacturers, as well as challenges and priorities in security products and systems. So all 3 tracks are extremely important. So in the past, we have tried to build our semiconductor manufacturing ecosystem. In 2014, we gave approvals to 2 consortia, providing a very attractive set of incentives, but unfortunately, they could not achieve financial closure, and we did not see success on that front. However, now there is, considering the current geopolitical situation, and we strongly feel, in consultation with the industry, that time is ripe that we also attract investments in the semiconductors and display area. So for that, government has approved a flagship program for manufacturing of semiconductors and displays in the country with an outlay of 76,000 crore. So there we are supporting both silicon semiconductor fabs as well as compound semiconductor fabs, display fabs. And besides that, we have also brought in the design-linked incentive scheme. So as my predecessors have said, in particular Mr. Arun Lal, that design-led manufacturing is the key. We must focus on design, we must focus on R&D, because only assembly will not take us far. So that's extremely important, and the DLI scheme for chip design, so that should serve us well. And besides that, we will also, modernize our only brownfield semiconductor complex limited at Mohali. So that decision has been taken. So SCL, which was earlier under the Department of Electronics, was given to the Department of Space, and it worked as a captive strategic facility for Department of Space. It has again been brought under the fold of Ministry of Electronics and IT, and we will modernize it, and we'll look for a joint venture partner and try to run it on commercial lines, because that is one facility which is a showcase that actually we can run a fab, So that will help us attract investments in this sector. So as far as design is concerned, we have highly skilled design engineers. 3,000 chips, over 3,000 chips are being designed in India every year. And all the major fabless chip design companies, they have their R&D centers. So we need to leverage that advantage, to attract investment in semiconductor and display manufacturing now, which we are doing. And the scheme was open for applications for 1.5 months. We have received good response. And we hope that this outlay of over $10 billion that has been provided by the government for this task, we will meet our objective. And so basically that is all, and we have noted the concerns of the industry. We have heard our predecessors from the industry, and I assure you that on behalf of the Government of India, we will keep all those suggestions into consideration. We will take all those suggestions into consideration, and we will do our best to support the industry. So actually at this forum, I would like to acknowledge, the contribution of our leadership provided by our past secretary, Mr. Ajay Sani ji, and also the Joint Secretary, Mr. Saurabh Gaud. They did, all best possible for the industry, bringing in these new schemes, and we will take that legacy forward. So thank you.